Stories of Great Christians. We're bringing you transcribed from the radio studios of the Moody Bible Institute in Chicago, Chapter 15, in Beautiful Upon the Mountains, the story of John and Isobel Kuhn.
There, that's fine, Danny. Leave the chair right there by the window. Pull the little table over a bit.
Like this, Mom?
Good. Help me move the green rug from the hallway into my bedroom here.
Why, Mom? I think that old green rug looks okay out there.
No, I want it. Oh, you wouldn't understand, I suppose. But once I had a green rug when we first went to China. It went everywhere I went. Now, well, it seems like I can just think better if I have my feet on a green rug.
Oh, Mom.
Come on.
Okay. I'll pull it in by myself. You've been sick.
I'm better now.
There's a table on it, Mom.
Move the table.
Oh, okay. For a little rug, it's awful heavy.
That's what your father always said.
Huh?
Never mind. Put it down.
This is sure a neat apartment, Mom. Boy, I never had a room like the one I got here.
Funny how everybody said we couldn't find an apartment in Wheaton. Not this time of year. They just didn't know.
It's gonna be great. I mean, I get to come home and you'll cook my lunch at noon, just like the other guys.
I'm glad I'm here.
Hey, you feel all right? I keep forgetting. Dad said I had to take care of you.
Well, I'm going to take care of you, and don't you forget it. That's one of the big reasons God brought me back to the States from Thailand. The operation, this other thing, well, it was just his way of doing it, I guess.
When the school year was over, Isobel went east to Philadelphia and New York for more therapy, and a few speaking engagements she refused to say no to. Her chauffeur and right-hand man was George Sutherland, longtime friend.
Belle, I've been looking all over for you.
Oh, this is my favorite pine tree, George. You'll find me sitting under it every chance I get away from the meeting.
There's a girl who wants to talk to you. She's come east from Kansas, thinking about the mission field, and doesn't know where. Reminds me of you a little, Belle, back when, you know...
I know, the old days. Years and years and years ago.
How you feeling, Belle?
Pretty good. It gets hot in this part of the country, doesn't it?
Oh, wait till you get to Keswick Grove next week, Belle. It's hotter there.
I know, and the mosquitoes. But, George, at Keswick, it's the spirit. The spirit is always good.
And you'll add your share.
Victorious life. Been the Keswick theme for years. Never meant so much to me. Victorious life, death.
Yes.
I've been doing a lot of thinking about victorious death. You know, death doesn't need to be melancholy. Some days I'm quite sure this thing will be the end of Belle Kuhn. You don't mind my talking like this?
Oh, I want to hear what you have to say about it, Belle.
Oh, it's just that it doesn't need to be sad and frightening. Instead, it can be more like getting ready to go on the most exciting journey of all. Sometimes it does feel just like that.
That's victorious life, Belle. When I got back to the office, found I didn't have enough to do, Belle, so I called you. What were you doing?
I was sitting in the snack shop, and my coffee's back there now getting cold, George.
That doesn't sound like you have much to do either, Belle. Maybe I can remedy that.
If people like you pester me with phone calls, I'll have my hands full.
Well, it depends on who the people are, I guess. Suppose it was John Kuhn that called you away from your coffee.
George, what do you want?
We had a cable here at the office today, Belle, from John.
Oh.
He's leaving Hong Kong, flying into New York tomorrow, Belle. I'm going to drive up and meet him. I'll bring him right over there to the camp and then take you both down to Keswick. In plenty of time for your next meeting.
So good to be standing beside you on the platform again.
Suppose they think we're talking about what we're going to say.
Wouldn't they be surprised?
It's been so long.
Yeah, more than a year.
Put on some weight. I didn't notice till you stood up just now.
Well, it's just one of those things, but these are two brave Christian missionaries who sailed to China more than 20 years ago, stayed as long as they dared in spite of war and the communists, and then simply traveled across the mountains to Thailand to take the gospel to the tribespeople there. We're glad to greet John and Isobel Kuhn.
On to Lancaster, PA, Philadelphia, and Washington. And finally, quite tired, Isobel went back with John to her small apartment in Wheaton.
No, John. There's no use trying to convince me. I don't want to have another operation.
The doctor from Chicago made it very clear.
I know he did. I don't want to go through another operation.
It's the only way. The thing is growing again.
Yes. You know as well as I do there's another way.
He can get you a room by the end of the week.
Let it grow. That's the other way. I've thought it all through. Come to this place in my mind a dozen times before. What good will another operation do? What real good? It'll just be temporary.
Nobody can say that.
Don't fool yourself. I don't. It won't cure. It'll only be a delay.
We can see.
John, I'd be nothing more than a big expense to the mission.
Nobody said that.
I said it. It's the way I feel. They'll take dedicated dollars that people have sent in for the gospel witness and spend it on Belle Kuhn's hospital room and board. I think that's a waste, and furthermore...
Belle, please don't go on like this. You feel low today, but
Another
tomorrow...
thing, John, if I'm operated on, if this cancer is checked for a while, I'll be holding you back from the field.
You think I care?
I care. You can do a lot more in Thailand by superintending a mission than you can by playing nursemaid to an ailing wife.
I won't be just a nursemaid. I'll be here, with you.
My work's almost done, John. That's really the way I look at it these days. My book on the Thailand mission is almost done. That's my big job. I think I'll get the last chapter done by Christmas. Then, well, no, John, I will not go through another operation. I'm not going to finish my book by Christmas after all. I'm really only 2/3 of the way through. The work drags me down. I hardly have the energy left to write anything. It isn't pain. There really isn't so much of that. It's just tiredness. If you honestly think an operation will give me some more time, with some more strength, all right. I'll do it. I must finish my book. I've got my title, Ascent to the Tribes. What do you think? John, see what came in the mail? With all the get well cards?
From Thailand?
From Lucius.
Good old Lucius.
They finished the rainy season Bible school.
Your school.
80 students. And listen, John, he adds up some other things. He has 30 villages in his district now, with 270 Christian families. And last year, 700 baptisms.
Tell me, does this package look as if it's tied up well enough to cross the Pacific?
Yes. You made the cord triple. Yes. Oh, that's fine.
I'm going down to the post office now.
Be sure to insure it.
How do you insure a wedding dress?
Mostly by prayer, I guess. The same kind of prayer that found Kathy a missionary husband by the name of Don Rulison. Now, John, I've got this insert for the next issue of Spiritual Food all finished. See? This paragraph should be in here.
Mm-hmm.
It ends right here. You do see what I mean.
If I didn't know this newsletter meant so much to the Christian refugees, I wouldn't let you work on it.
Let me? You couldn't stop me. Oh, if I weren't in a wheelchair, I'd be down there at headquarters helping to mimeograph, fold, and stuff.
Mrs. Kuhn, thanks so much for letting me come and interview you. Promise me right at the start you'll let me know when you're tired and want to quit.
Carolyn, I'm tired right now. Trouble with me is the tireder I get, the more I talk. On and on and on. And I can talk about the Lisu people. I'm warning you.
You know, I've read all your books. I think I have a pretty good background. Actually, I read them long before I ever thought I'd meet you or write your biography.
I'm flattered that anybody thinks there's value in...
Let me say one more thing before we begin. I admire you. The way you fought this whole thing of cancer.
Well, Carolyn, it hasn't been an easy victory, I'll tell you that. And it's never been a battle fought once to the finish either. Over and over and over I've had to swing at my very subtle and sometimes not so subtle enemy.
How have you done it? I know this isn't what I'm here to interview you about, but you must have something that can help somebody else.
I don't know. Maybe. One thing. For quite a while I found myself wondering just how the end would come. I had to quit that. The way I quit was just to keep busy with my writing. You'd understand that.
Yes, except I don't know if I could concentrate the way that you...
You would. I just set up a schedule and stuck to it. There was something else, too. Maybe you can sum it up in one verse. It's from Isaiah. I am God. There is none like me, declaring the beginning from the end. That gave me some peace. It might help somebody. It could help. What would help most, I think, is if people could understand, Carolyn, that the platform of disease, like cancer, can become a springboard for heaven. Yes, Lord, we are conformed to your death. I know. Yes, I know in the pain of the descent into the valley of the shadows, there will be a fellowship, even if our weakened nature cannot always recognize it. The power of your resurrection will become known as never before, and the great end, that we may know you, will be granted. We shall be clasped in your arms. We shall rest on your bosom, and all the impurities of our earth-clogged life will be gone forever. Oh, I am so tired.
Lord, now lettest thou thy servant depart in peace, according to thy word. For mine eyes have seen thy salvation.
How beautiful upon the mountains are the feet of them that publish glad tidings.
You've just heard the 15th and concluding chapter of Beautiful Upon the Mountains, the transcribed story of John and Isobel Kuhn. Rita Stobbe was heard in the role of Isobel, Ted Seeley as John. Others heard included Larry Moran and Walter Carlson. Sound was by Les Lambourne. The story of Beautiful Upon the Mountain was directed by John Hebert, and has been another in the series Stories of Great Christians, produced by the Department of Broadcasting of the Moody Bible Institute in Chicago.